And then instead of using these pieces to explain the homemaker set, you're going to use your trifold. Okay, once again, does that make sense for everyone? All right, it should be in this order for everyone, okay? Unless you took this out randomly, it should be right here, right after the homemaker. Do you see how that works? Okay, so now, the first thing you're going to do is introduce the sets, okay? So you're like, all right, so Ms. Jones, check this out. This is our basic set. All right, so write basic set equals people that never cook, okay? So in your notes, basic set for people that never ever cook, okay? All right? So the basic set of knives, all right, for people that never really ever cook, okay? Then we also do have our two family sets. They're way nicer, okay? So if you notice I do a little head nod, I'm like, yeah, they're way nicer. These are two family sets. These are more for people that do actually like to cook and entertain. We have our medium set for people that like to barbecue, and our complete set for people that just want to take care of the kitchen, never want to have to worry about it again, okay? So I'm going to repeat that. I know I'm going fast, all right? So once again, basic set is for people that never, ever, ever cook. It's like a basic set of knives. And if you notice my facial expressions, look what happens when I talk about, like, yeah, it's for people that never really ever cook. It's like basic set of knives, okay? Then we do have our two much nicer sets. They're called our family sets, okay? It's going to be our signature set and our complete set. Our signature set are designed for people that like to barbecue every once in a while. And our complete set is for more for people that love to cook and love to entertain. And I'll be really honest with you, Ms. Jones. The people that go for our complete set are for people that understand, okay? So the people that go for our complete set are for people that understand they're going to have it at some point in time in the rest of their lives, so they might as well get the best deal on it today. All right? So the complete set is for people that understand they're going to end up having it at some point in time for the rest of their lives, and they'd rather get the best deal, the best price on it today. Okay? And why do we say that? Well, by the way, for those of you who have seen anyone with Cutco, what do they do almost 9 out of 10 times when you see them? They buy more, exactly, right? So if they're going to keep buying over the years, you all realize that Cutco keeps going up in price every 3 to 4 years, right? So if they would have bought it all originally, they would have saved a ton of money, right? Like theoretically speaking. So that's what we tell them. Like, yeah, people that go for the complete set, just understand they're going to end up having it at some point in time. They'd rather get the best price on it in the whole entire thing. That's how I sold your aunt, by the way. All right?
Hey.
So, but 4 years ago. But all right, so anyway, so that's a complete, that's the signature. So are we good on that? It's like a little introduction into what the sets are. Okay? So can we keep moving forward from that? Do you want me to repeat anything there? We good? Okay, perfect. So now what you're going to do is I'm like, all right, perfect. So those are the sets. Now I'm actually going to show you what comes in each one of the sets. All right? And, all right, so all you need to do is you can literally take it out. All right? Pretty simple. Okay? Then what you'll do is you'll open it. Let me make sure this one's folded in correctly. All right. So what you'll do is you'll open it and you're like, all right, cool. So check this out, Ms. Jones. This is our basic set. As you can see, it's a tiny set. Write that down. All right? Yeah, so Ms. Jones, this is our basic set. As you can see, it's a tiny set. Just has 7 knives, 2 forks, and a spatula. This is stuff from your training, by the way, okay? So 7 knives, 2 forks, and a spatula. All right? And you just tell them, like, yeah, there's 2 types of blades with Cutco. You have the straight edge, and then you have our double D edge, which is the blade we just explained. Okay? So I want to go ahead and show you. By the way, Ms. Jones, the straight edges are only designed for up and down motions. Straight edges are only designed for up and down motions. You're never, ever, ever going to slice with them. And you like to do that visual, by the way. You're never, ever going to slice with them. They're only for up and down motions, okay? So as you notice, our petite chef, you see how it's big on the back? That's where all the power is. So it's for chopping, mincing, and dicing, parsley, celery, onions, different things of that nature.
Yeah,
but
quick question. Pause. When are they going to change the petite chef for the French?
April 1st, I believe.
April 1st.
Yeah, April
okay.
1st. Yeah. Okay, so you see how it's big? Don't worry about it. It's okay. All right, you're going to freak people out, all right? So anyways, let's focus. All right, so you see how it's big in the back? It's designed for chop. What do you?
I think I got it. You're gonna, instead of having the homemaker with the petite chef, you're going to have...
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry about it. That's nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
All right, let's focus, ADD. All right, come on. All right, so you see that's big in the back? That's where all the power is for chopping, mincing, and dicing, parsley, celery, onions, different things of that nature. You see how the butcher is big in the front? That's your power knife. It's basically a hammer with a straight edge on it. You're going to use it for disjointing meats, frozen foods, like a watermelon, different things of that nature. Okay? So, do you see what I'm doing here with the straight edges? I'm like, real basic. Straight edge, never slice. Big in the back you chop with, big in the front you do like more whacking actions, okay? Then you have the paring knife. The paring knife is super simple. It's only for peeling in the air. That's it. You're never going to slice on the cutting board because you're going to dole it out, okay? Bless you. All right? So that's that. And then I like to do a little explanation on the blade itself. I'm like, yeah, look, just so you understand the straight edge, bless you again. So it's super, super simple. Fact is that imagine if you have a razor blade, right? And you're going to shave. Imagine if you tap your skin and all the hair would fall off. That razor would never, ever go dull, right? But obviously the reason why it goes dull is because you go against the grain and then you have to replace it all the time. Same exact concept with the actual straight edges. If you cut and you go against the grain, you're literally slicing, it's going to go dull. But if you go up and down, it'll stay sharper longer. They're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, so that's a straight edge. And then I'm like, yeah, and the double D edge is even easier to explain. All you need to make sure is that the blade is bigger than what you're cutting. So these are your slicing knives. Literally, grab it from the block, measure whatever you're cutting, make sure the blade is bigger, you're good. That's what the knife is for. Okay, so the trimmer obviously would not be very good for like a huge like roast or something like that because you're like gonna go crazy like trying to fight through it. You go for the carver because it's larger. You make sure it's bigger than what you're slicing, so it's a one slice and you're done. Same thing the other way around. Okay, so as you can see, that's a whole entire set, real basic. Besides that, you got the sandwich making machine, which is completely flexible. It does have the double D edge on it too, so you can actually slice after. Okay, so that's the basic set. Is that clear? And that's my names and uses, by the way. I'm like teaching it and showing you how I show it at the same time. But if you notice, I spent really about 5 minutes on the actual names and uses of this homemaker set. Okay? I'm like, yeah, and besides that, it also does come with our table knife. You do the same exact table knife demonstration, right? You get them all excited about it. Let them know that it can come with steak knives. Because, by the way, anytime you show them a steak knife, they always love the steak knives, and they cost twice the price. So I'm always going to show them steak knives, obviously, right?
The table knives fit in the block. I mean, the steak knives fit in the block of the homemaker.
Not the homemaker. What I do is I sell them a basic set, and then the steak knives on the side. Okay? And it comes in the gift box anyway, so it's not even a big deal. Okay, so that's what I always do with the homemaker.
New manual. Mine is on the old stuff. It doesn't have like the steak knife in the set.
Okay, we'll get you a new one. It's not a big deal. All right, so anyways, that's a basic set. Is that clear? Yes. All right, perfect. By the way, the reason, if you notice, I'm like, is that clear? I'm doing this because that's what you need to do on your demo too. If your customer has no idea what the heck you're talking about, they're not going to buy the set from you because a confused mind is a mind that's always going to say no. All right, so they're never going to buy from you in that sense, all right? So keep that in mind, all right? So that's a basic set. Are we good? All right, perfect. Now, Ms. Jones, the next set is the same exact set you currently see plus 3 knives. Okay, so it's a basic set plus 3 knives. These 3 knives are actually the customer's 3 most requested knives. Basically, once someone already has Cutco, these are the 3 knives that they always purchase. And that's why we made it into the signature set. Does that make sense for everyone now? The name of it, signature set, okay? So basically, these 3 pieces are as follows. You have the Hardy Slicer, which is awesome. It looks like a chopper, but it has a double D edge on it. So basically, it weighs a little bit more. It's designed for your hard slicing. So like, pepperoni, sausages, also even like churrasco, but any sort of root vegetable. So yuca, malanga, calabaza, anything like that. Root vegetables, I said pumpkin, I don't know, so you can translate. But either way, point being is that it's all for the hard slicing, okay? So so any root vegetables, okay? So basically anytime that you feel you have to like put muscle into whatever you're slicing, go for the Hardy Slicer. It's absolutely awesome, okay? So there you go. Then you got the Petit Santoku, more designed for like herbs and spices. Basically, remember, this is a set you're going to have for the rest of your life, okay? The basic set only has 1 chopping knife. The medium actually has 2 of them, which is most ideal because if you ever cook with more than 1 person in the household, you need to have at least 2. And our complete set is the one that makes the most sense because ultimately it'll allow your sets to last longer because they have the straight edges. But once again, if you cook with more than 1 person, you need more than 1 knife. As opposed to throwing a knife around the kitchen, it's not very safe, I promise, okay? So you joke around, have a little bit of fun with them, all right? Then you also do have the cheese knife. It's the same exact explanation I just told you guys earlier, that it gets stuck, that's the holes, all that, okay? So the same exact explanation. I'm not going to repeat that. I want to save on time, all right? So that's a cheese knife.
There's one tool that Mariana told me with a potato. Try to cut with a trimmer a potato and exactly doing the exact same thing with the cheese knife if you haven't. When you try to cut a potato, a thin slice from a potato with the trimmer, the knife gets stuck. And it's a Cutco knife. But if you try to do it with the cheese knife, it goes clean and it goes really thin.
Yeah, it's true. The cheese knife is awesome. Yeah, you can use it on different, like also vegetables as well. It works very well for that too.
It doesn't work on sweet potato.
I know, you need the Hardy Slicer for that.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, don't ever ask them for a sweet potato.
Yeah.
I look like an idiot.
No, yeah, you need a Hardy Slicer for that. Yeah, the sweet potato is super hard.
Too hard.
Yeah, you need a Hardy Slicer for that. But all right, perfect. So that's our signature set. By the way, the difference with the basic set and our signature set, Miss Jones, is that it comes with 10 table knives or 10 steak knives as opposed to just the 8. And then also the scissors go directly in the block, while on the basic set they come on the side. Okay, that's really important you do that because instead of selling a homemaker for $11.39, you can actually sell it for $12.80, whatever, $12.84 actually.
$12.48.
Yeah,
$12.48
plus 108.
$16.84.
It doesn't add up, right? 108 plus $11.39.
He does that all the time.
40. All right, whatever. So you're 1247, isn't it 1247? All right, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
I believe you.
Right now.
Oh, because the old pricing of the holster was 3. It's actually 4 now. You're right. All right, cool. All right, so anyways, yeah, but you can add that in there, the scissors, and that's an extra 100 CPO basically right there for you. Super easy, okay? So anyways, that's the medium set. All right, is that all clear? All right, perfect. And then, really important, okay? Do not do this. Do not just open up straight into the knives like this. This is really scary, okay? You want to set them up for it, all right? So you're like, hey, by the way, Miss Jones, let me go ahead and warn you. Our complete set has everything you'd ever need for the rest of your life, okay? So there are definitely a couple tools that you're not going to use every single day, but they're definitely more designed for people that they realize they'd rather be safe than sorry, okay? So they'd rather not need it and have it than need it and not have it because they're going to break any of their other knives, all right? That's why our complete set exists, okay? And then you do that little warning, but look what I do. You close the front flap, you open the back flap, okay? So what happens is they have a picture of the complete set. They have all the main bad butt knives of the actual complete set as well. Does that make sense for everyone? Okay? So it makes it look a lot smaller too, because now we're focused on just the heavy-duty knives, if you will, all right? So I'm like, yep, these are actually definitely our specialty knives. By the way, I normally do this sitting, so it's a lot easier, but either way. So I'm like, yeah, these are more of our heavy-duty knives. So the first one is our veggie knife. As you can see, it's a little bit larger, just like the Hardy slicers for hard slicing. The veggie knife is going to be for tough chopping. Okay, just it's a little bit larger, weighs more obviously, so you're tougher. You know, cucumbers, carrots, different things of that nature. All right. Then you also have the cleaver, 1.5 pound knife. That'll go through pretty much anything. Like T-Max says, you know, the mata vaca, right? But basically through coconuts, shells, seafood in general, it's awesome knife, bones, everything. It's really good. Opening up, like I said, the coconuts. But yeah. The next one is going to be the salmon knife. This is definitely more designed for filleting purposes. It looks like the bread knife, but it has a straight edge on it, and it's completely flexible, okay? So it's great for sashimi, but also filleting. You just literally tuck it into the fish and pull, and you fillet the whole entire thing already. It's that easy, all right?
Sashimi, that's what I was like, what's that?
Yeah, it's sushi.
It's like
If they tell you that they don't like fish, you can tell them that it's a carpaccio knife.
Yeah, also para ropa vieja, different things like super thin slicing. Yeah, for sure. So thin slicing. All right, focus. I'm almost done. All right, the boning knife is for deboning, removing bones off of meats, obviously, but also any sort of incision or cut you do directly into a meat in general, because it does have a straight edge, but you never use it directly on a cutting board. You only cut directly into what you're cutting, if that makes sense, okay? Then you also have the 4-inch paring knife, just a larger version of the basic paring. It's just best more for like mangoes, papaya, anything a little bit larger than like a fistful, like an apple or an orange, okay? So that's our complete set. Now this is a money line. This is a setup where it's a little bit different from what you all know, but you're gonna see how easy it is to actually translate into what you're already doing, okay? So then you open it back up and you ask them like, all right, so Shayna, so now you got a chance to see all our different sets. What set did you feel would be most ideal, okay? So let me say that slower, okay? So now that you've seen all of our sets, which set did you feel would be most ideal for you and your family's uses for the rest of your life? Okay? So which set did you feel would be most ideal for you and your family's uses? So which set did you feel would be most ideal for you and your family's uses for the rest of your life? Okay? For the rest of your life. All right, now a really important thing that you got to do here is that also now how do you ask this question, right? So this is the way you do it. I want everyone to just focus on my face. Don't worry about the paper so much, because obviously I'm just turning flaps, okay? So I'm like, yeah, so our complete set, which is our best set, it's like literally the best option that we do have. It's the top line, and you're done with your kit. You never have to worry about it ever again, so it's awesome, all right? Our medium set, which, I mean, it'll get you by, okay? Or just the basic set for like people that never, ever cook.
But there's people that do like the homemaker more, like, because it's like 3 of them and they don't really cook at all. And like they end up liking it, but like if I were to make that face, they'd be like, "Why are you making that face?"
I disagree with you 100%. Disagree with you 100%. I disagree with you 100%. Disagree with you 100%. It's psychology, I promise you. The reason why we do this is because if you believe that the homemaker is ideal for them, they'll like it and everything because you're promoting it, they're gonna think it's a big set. I'm just telling you, it's okay.
If I do that face, I've done it before, and they'd be like, "What's wrong with the homemaker?"
It's the baby set. It's for people that don't cook. That's not true. It's basically the reason why we do this is because if you set it up incorrectly, they're going to think that the homemaker is a big set. The way by doing this, what I did here, it makes a homemaker seem like nothing. So even for your people that don't cook ever, they're like, oh, all right, well, I mean, I'll go for the basic because I'm going to have it forever, and at least it'll take care of all the jobs for the rest of my life. That's why I do it that way. So it's a whole psychology behind it. Okay, so you downplay it, so it's not a big deal. If you make it seem like a really big deal, they're never going to go for it. That's the whole point there. Cool. So and then so once again, so you're like, so our complete set, which is like you're done with the kitchen, you never have to worry about it. It's our best of the best. Okay. our medium set, which like, it'll get you by, or just our basic set for people that like really never ever cook. Which one did you feel would be most ideal? Okay, so you ask them for that. Now let's say that they tell you, oh, the medium set, the complete set, whatever set they tell you, you're like, all right, perfect. When I'm going over numbers, I'll make sure to compare to that after. But our numbers, actually, we're going to compare to the basic set because that's what some of you'll find in stores. And you just close like normal, and then you just tell them, hey, by the way, remember, whatever you picked is the medium, the complete, and you go from there, okay? So does everyone understand what I said there? Do you want to kind of like give you an example when you're actually closing that? Okay, so I'll give you an example. All right, so you do the normal, like, oh yeah, twice the price, twice the quality. It would be at least one of our basic sets at over $3,500, and that's what it would be if it was sold in stores, okay? But remember, you did pick the medium set, okay? So you just like, you're gonna reference, hey, you did pick the medium set, right? So you're like, hey, just so you know, in comparison to our basic set, because this is their basic set, so I want to be fair. All right, our basic set is not quite $3,000, although it would be if it's sold in stores. It's not quite $2,000 either, like I said, although it would be if it's sold in stores, especially with a forever guarantee. Our basic set is actually only $1,139, and you can try it out for a deposit today of $246, okay? But remember, you like the medium set, right? So considering that you like that, obviously it's has a couple extra pieces, a little bit larger as well. It should be way more. It's actually only $1,684, and you can do it on deposit today of $364, and with that you can get an extra $400 or whatever you want for free. Okay, so that's it. That's like, it's super easy. You're just gonna change it up right at the end. Does that make sense? So did that make sense to everyone? Okay. By the way, the biggest thing is that when you're saying numbers, they're not gonna register. So you see how you're like, oh shit, like they're not gonna register anything. You need to write it down. Okay. You need to write everything down, because if you don't write it down, it's just like verbal diarrhea, and they're not getting anything except the big number that they heard at some point in time. And they're like, no, I can't do that. You need to write everything down. Okay. It doesn't matter if you close on just a basic set. If you close on all the sets, I don't care what you close on. You need to write it down, okay? Cool. So basically, that's the whole entire thing. I'm gonna 1 minute for Q&A, because then T-Max is just gonna wrap up the team meeting. We're pretty much done for tonight, okay? So go for it.
What when you show, I like showing all the knives so they see how many knives they're getting for bang for their buck. Like, so why would show them less when you show them all the knives? Like, okay, it's this price, but you get all of these.
That's really good once you've got them excited about, oh, I definitely want to get that complete set. I'm like, hey, let me show you what it comes with. It's awesome. And that's the same exact setup you do in the manual. When you go back, I'm like, yeah, it comes with this piece, it comes with da-da-da-da. That's fine. But you don't want to do that at the beginning, because you're going to scare a lot of your customers away. My demo, the way I try to do it is set up for people that don't necessarily cook like crazy all the time. Because if they do love to cook, complete set, like no brainer. But if they cook every once in a while, the signature set. And if they don't cook at all, the basic set. And the point, once again, is just to make it seem smaller. Because they're not buying it according to use. You're not going to sell a lot of complete sets because they see the value in every single little piece, and they know they're going to use every single one. They're going to get it because they realize they're done with the kitchen. They don't have to worry about it again. Okay, so it's just, once again, like understanding that psychology, because once you get it, they're going to get it too, and obviously they're going to buy more from you too.
When do you incorporate the wish list?
When do you incorporate well, what I do there is the setup that I already had, where I'm going to ask them, hey, which set do you feel would be most ideal? I'll do that with everything. So I'll do that with the actual flatware. I'll do that with the cookware as well, and then I'll do that with the actual individual pieces, and I'll do a package close at the end, okay? So I'm not teaching that now because there's a couple of us that aren't advanced enough for that, but that's what I do, and it's a real easy setup because I already did it with the knives. I'm like, all right, cool. So hey, this is our flatware. We actually have 3 different colors. We have our stainless, we have our traditional pearl, and also our traditional classic. Do you want to get the traditional, like the stainless, and one of the classic or the pearl, or do you want to just go for one of them? So I do the same exact thing. They're just going to pick one set for sure. Okay. You keep moving from there. Cool? So any questions on like how I did what I just did right now, especially for those of you that have actually been doing it currently and whatnot? Any questions?
I'm doing your method, like, since you showed me, and like, I get the response of, yeah, I love the complete set. Like, I need it, I want it, but they instantly think I can't afford it. Like, they just, without even me telling them the prices of it.
So what you want to tell them, like, hey, don't worry about numbers yet. That's a fun part at the end. When and literally when you ask them which set is ideal, like, oh no, I can't afford. Don't worry about that. That's a fun part, okay? I promise you, we're gonna get to that in a couple minutes. I just want to know off of use and off of need, which one did you feel was ideal? So you for sure, if you feel that the complete is the best option for you, okay, cool. Then I'm gonna go ahead and show you the numbers after, anyways, and then you go from there. So you just gotta kind of to like relax a little bit, like calm down. Hey, don't worry, we're not talking about numbers yet. That's a fun part, I promise. All right, but you like the complete set, right? You see value in the complete set. All right, cool, perfect, and then you go from there. Because if they see the reason why they should buy it, the numbers, like, we literally give them a deal, they're going to say yes to it, right? But they're not going to remember how much the set costs 15, 20, 30 years from now. They're just going to remember that they're using it every single day. That's what you want to get them more focused on. Cool?
I've had the problem where they think they want the complete, but they're like, oh, just show me the price for the homemaker, because obviously I can't afford it. So then I'm just in a tight spot where I want to show them the complete set, but they only want to see the price.
What I tell them then is like exactly what I was telling you, like, hey, don't worry about the numbers, I'll show you that at the end. And then if they're still like, oh no, but I probably can't afford it, I'm like, hey, no worries, like let me just show you. If it's something you can swing, awesome, but if not, I'll show you the smaller option. The reason why you want to do that no matter what though, Abby, is because if they like it, you're gonna show them $2,000, right? It'll be a lot easier for them to say yes to 1,000 than if you only show them 1,000 and they're like, oh, and then they're gonna go down from there too. So that's just the whole reason. You start up higher to end up higher as well. That's the whole concept. Cool. Any other? Go ahead.
Alright, this is like a yes or no question. So do you close on like the whole blue book? Like,
Yes.
Okay. And then,
Okay. Yes. All right. Anyone else?
And you start closing from when you're talking with prices. It's better if you start from the basic set price, or if you start with the price from the set that they like the most.
Okay, that's a great question. So what I'll do is I do it directly compared to our basic set of knives, okay? So that way it's the same exact close for everyone. So that doesn't change. We just already know that they want the medium set, right? So what I'll tell them, like, yeah, our basic set is $11.39, which we were already talking about, that their basic set and our basic set, if it was sold in stores, should cost over $3,500. The beautiful thing is ours only costs $11.39. Our medium set doesn't even cost over $2,000. It's actually only $1,684. You get what I'm saying? So the whole purpose of it is showing, like, that's insane, right? But that's what you get in stores. But because we're sold directly, it should be costing that much. But even our medium doesn't cost that much. It only costs this much. You get what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
So you're still kind of doing that. It's just you want to show them the basics, so it's the comparison. But this is what you're gonna get.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Hey guys, all these questions, by the way, that's why we have a team night out. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go to Latin Cafe.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to order anything, free water, free awesome Cuban bread, free knowledge. That'll make your money over. So.
All right.
if
Cool.
you go-
So I'll bring up T-Max. Anyways, wrapping up team meeting. Obviously, you all know T-Max, so he's gonna bring the fire. All right. So here we go.